Hey everyone, Matt here from Rec Brewery. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. I haven't done one of these in a little while. I've been very busy with the Sjporr challenge. I've been reviewing beers, a lot of wonderful beers. We had 12 of them to review. Probably started a couple weeks ago. For a little while there, I was trying to do one a day. A couple things happened where I couldn't do that. One being work. I wasn't drinking one on my work days. I work a compressed work schedule, so I work 3 days a week. So those 3 days I hadn't tried any, so that kind of drug us out a little bit. With it now being October 14th, coming right up to the end, this here actually, this is SJ's beer. I don't want to say that I saved the best for last or anything, but I definitely wanted to do his last, just because it's a thing of an honor to drink SJ's beer. This is his challenge. He put this together, and dude, it's been great. I mean, I only wish I joined it sooner. I'm definitely going to join from here out, other years going forward. So, but I won't. I've already started to review this. I've been letting it sit here for a little while, and I'm just testing it out, seeing how it comes along as it kind of ages here in the glass for a few minutes. Been kind of sipping on it for the last 20 minutes or so. It's warmed up a bit. It's a wonderful beer. I already have a review out. I'm going to put a review video out there for that as well. So I won't talk too much about it here. But I'll tell you, anybody out there that's joined the Sjporr challenge, you guys have. I mean, at least on the East Coast, since that's all I've been able to try. You guys put together wonderful beers. I mean, I originally joined this thing just to see where I am compared to everybody else, and it's nice to see that what I'm doing is very similar to what everyone else is doing as far as quality goes. It's neat to see the other recipes that are out there and everyone else's craft going into it. So it's been a really cool experience. And I urge everyone else that's been sitting here watching from home, um, watching the Sjporr challenge as I was the last couple of years, to join into it. If you haven't already, join in, man. It's a lot of fun. Even if you're not sure that your beer might make it past the first round, it's if nothing else, it's really cool to have a box of beer show up at your door and get to sample what other homebrewers are doing. I mean, there's some interesting things out there. It's not all. It wasn't all cookie cutter. I mean, we on the East Coast we got some stouts, we got a couple of porters, but then we had a couple of interesting ones. I mean, I have never tried a ghost beer before, so that was interesting to say the least, to try that. There was an imperial ale that came in. There was a port wine beer that came in. I mean, there's things that I've never tried or never had. So it was pretty cool. Other things that are going on for me, homebrew related. I did brew the Russian Imperial Stout probably 2.5 weeks ago now. So it's still in primary. I usually like to leave it sit in that, since it is such a big beer. Probably leave it in the primary for a good 3 weeks, maybe a month, before I move it into secondary. And at that point, I'm just going to forget about it for 4 months, or even 6, however long I can go with it. So I'm also going to brew up a coconut porter here in the near future. I wanted to do that this week, but real life got in the way. So I'll probably do that next week. That the new brew stand that I've been using. It's been cool. I mean, it's fun. It's frustrating at times because it's a new experience. But some of the beers that I had first made on it have now gotten to the point where I can drink them. So I can definitely see an improvement in my process. The first couple of beers that I've tried to drink have been wonderful. The KBBA, it's a Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. It's a clone. I cloned it off of a beer, that beer that I've had in Lexington, Kentucky when I went down there. It's a cool beer, man. It's like just a regular ale is the base of it. Nothing real fancy there, but then you add in the Kentucky bourbon to it. So I added in some Knob Creek, and that boosts the ABV, of course, but it also adds an interesting character to the beer. Now, what's cool about that beer, that I've learned and have shared with some friends is that when you drink it, the bourbon is very prominent in it. You can definitely taste the bourbon. You can definitely taste the flavor of it. You don't get the bourbon burn or high alcohol notes in it at all. But then what's neat about it, what's different, is you can take a shot of the same bourbon. I use Knob Creek, so I would take a shot of Knob Creek. When you take the shot of the bourbon first, and then you chase it up with the beer, the KBBA, it completely eliminates the bourbon. It's weird how it does that, but you lose that, you just eliminate the taste of that altogether, and now what you're left with in your mouth is just tasting the base ale. And it's essentially what it tasted like before I added the bourbon to it. So it's a really cool effect that I learned with it, and I've learned that seems to be the way to tell the authentic, because the authentic beer, the KBBA, when you do that with that, it works just the same. So it's pretty cool that it works the same way with mine. I don't know if it works that way with other beers that when you add hard liquor to. I may test that. There is a beer that I like to make. It's called an Irish Car Bomb Stout. I haven't made it this year yet. I may do it later in the winter. It doesn't take as long to age, so I probably could make it here before too long and still be ready for during the winter. It's basically a dry Irish Stout recipe, and I just add some Jameson to it. So I kind of wonder if I drink a shot of Jameson and then drink that beer right after, if that would eliminate the Jameson taste and just be left with the Irish Stout. I just wonder if it's the same thing that happens with every beer that's made that way. I'll have to test that. I don't have any other beers on tap right now that I could test that with right now. So the other thing that I have on tap is my cherry wheat. So that has turned out to be an interesting one. So I made the cherry wheat. This is now the third time. Everyone has loved the first couple that I made. They said it was a much better version of the Sam Adams. So the third time I made it, though, I made it on the new system, and I tried to mess with my water profile. I sent out a couple of months ago for a water test from Ward's Labs, and I put the results up on a couple of brew forums, and I got some feedback that said if you're going to make a lighter beer, like a wheat beer, a pilsner, a lager, any of those things, you may want to add in some calcium, some brewing salts to it to change your water profile a bit, to make it more flavorful for that type of beer. Now, I had never messed with my water before. I had just brewed with what I had, and I've never had a problem with it. Apparently my water is favorable to stouts and darker beers. But I've made a number of other things. I've made cream ales, I've made pilsners, I've made plenty of wheat beers, and I've never had anybody complain about the flavor. So just as a test, I decided to try that. And it's interesting because everyone says that the flavor should be better with adding those salts. It's good, but I don't think it's better. That's just my preference. And I've had a couple of friends that have told me the same thing. Maybe that's just because they're used to the flavor of my beer, and now it's different. So I may still toy with it with other beers. I might try to toy with like a cream ale or something else. But that cherry wheat, I made the cherry wheat the way I made it beforehand, and then I made it again with the altered water, which was basically I diluted my water half with distilled and added in those brewing salts, and it didn't have as good as a response from the feedback of everyone that I thought it would have. It was where I was expecting. So anyway, I don't want this video to go on too long. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Homebrew Wednesday. A shout out again to the Sjporr Challenge, everyone that's in it. Hope everyone does well. I hope everyone gets the feedback that they're looking for. I'm definitely looking forward to getting some feedback on what I send in. I send in my watermelon wheat, so I'm hoping that that everyone has a chance to review it and enjoys it. I'm definitely looking forward to that constructive feedback. So cheers, everyone. Happy Homebrew Wednesday again, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.